Yo guys, what's up? Russ here. Today's video is an answer to Bearded Comic Bros comic cover challenge. He's been doing these videos. The one he did yesterday was a Marvel edition, where he wants you to show your 10 favorite Marvel covers. I didn't want to do just a bunch of big keys or anything like that, so there's nothing really key in this selection. I do have some bangers, but I just wanted to show off some like regular favorite covers. I didn't want it to just be all about keys. There is one minor key in here, I think, and one like super modern book, so I'm going to do that one first. It is X-Men 1, the Art Germ Marvel Girl cover. I fell in love with this cover when I saw it. The story, not so much. I couldn't get into Hickman's X-Men run. I gave it 3 issues and just dropped it. But this cover, easily one of my all-time favorites, which changes a lot because I have a lot of favorite covers. But I had to put this one in there just for the cover alone. Love that one. By the way, this isn't any particular order. I just have them all stacked up here. The next one up is the Spectacular Spider-Man 200. Green Goblin is my absolute favorite all-time Spider-Man villain. And this cover sticks out as one of my favorites. Even though this is not the Norman Osborn Green Goblin, this is his son Harry Osborn. I do prefer Norman as Green Goblin, but this cover, still one of my favorites. This next one up is a classic Thor cover, The Mighty Thor issue 356. I just love this cover, man. It's such a fun cover. Hercules showing up, giving Thor the face palm, and hitting on the girl. That's just a fun cover and a cool little story. Alright, this next one up is Avengers Issue 402, which happens to be the last in the legacy numbering. They restarted it with Heroes Return after this, but this cover always been a favorite of mine from the first time I saw it back in the 90s. Absolutely love that painted style. It's just an awesome, awesome cover. Not sure who did the art on this one, but just love that. It's also a really good story. It's a tie into the Onslaught storyline. This next one up, I think, is the only key in this selection, and it is a minor key. It's Miss Marvel issue 20, and it's the first appearance of her new costume, which happens to be my favorite of her costumes. Absolutely love that look for Miss Marvel, and had to throw this cover in here. Also, this original run of Miss Marvel is really good in my opinion. I haven't read it all, but I've read a few, and I do plan on collecting this set if possible. This original run. I already have issue 1, and I can't remember the other issues I have right off the top of my head. This next one is Marvel Super Action 1, which I believe is a reprint of Captain America 100. Well, it's absolutely one of my favorite covers, so I had to show this one. Eventually I hope to pick up a Cap 100, but until then I have this Marvel Super Action reprint. Love this cover. Next up is Fantastic Four issue 1 from 1996. This was the first series I started reading Fantastic Four in back in the day. When I first started collecting back in '93, I was all about Superman, but a couple years later I started getting in some other titles. So this was the very first Fantastic Four book I ever read. Absolutely loved it, and it introduced me to this team. And this Jim Lee cover has just always been one of my favorites. I love Jim Lee's art style. on Fantastic Four and X-Men. And speaking of X-Men, this is a wraparound, so let me show that to you. But it's Uncanny X-Men issue 350. Absolutely love this story and cover. Gambit and Rogue, my all-time two favorite X-Men. Which, even though I couldn't get into the current X-Men books, the 80s and 90s books, that's my jam when it comes to X-Men. Let me just pop out the backing board and show you guys the wraparound. It just adds to the cover, especially having Rogue up in the corner. Love that. Definitely recommend this book if you're an X-Men fan from back in the day. This is a must read. I'll mess with the backing board later. And sticking with X-Men and Jim Lee, another one of my all-time favorite covers has to be X-Men 11. When I think of X-Men, it's this. These costumes, this era, the animated series is what got me into X-Men. Then I started reading the comics from there. So this will like forever be my X-Men. The new stuff, forget it. And last but not least has got to be Web of Scarlet Spider, issue 1. This isn't the first appearance, but the covers kind of look similar. I believe it was, I want to say issue 118 for the first Scarlet Spider. But still love this cover, love this character of Ben Reilly and Scarlet Spider. These were some of the first Spider-Man stories I read back in the day. Maximum Carnage, moving into Identity Crisis, the Clone Wars. And I don't know, I just absolutely love the character of Ben Reilly. And this version of the Scarlet Spider costume, easily one of my all-time favorites. Still love it to this day. The new Scarlet Spider costume is cool too, but this original, hands down my favorite. Such a simple design, but I absolutely love it. Alright, that is it for the comic cover challenge by Bearded Comic Bro. If I forgot to mention it, his original video to the challenge will be linked below. Check that out and sub him up if you're not already. And that'll do it for this one. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.
What did you say his power level is? It's over 9,000!